Hello,
Go ahead.
everyone. Welcome, and I have a very special guest with me today, Miss Moira Bramley.
Hi, guys.
Hi. So this Facebook Live series is based on topics that are about money, basically. And one of the things that I wanted to ask people about is some people in my life have really contributed to changing my financial reality, and Moira Bramley is definitely one of those people. And I know, Moira, as well, that you have a very different reality now in regards to money and creation in your life than you did when you grew up. Um,
hmm
could you talk a little bit about what it was like for you, when you were
hmm
growing up, and sort of some of the changes or choices that you've made to create the different reality that you have now?
Yeah, I'll keep it as brief as I can because I've said this story many times, but it really is truly just a choice, guys. Honestly, I grew up incredibly poor. And when I say incredibly poor, I'm not exaggerating. I had holes in my shoes in the winter, and I used to walk to school with plastic bags on my feet. And I would get to school and take the bags off and put my shoes on the radiator to dry so that I had dry socks. I never had enough clothes, like sufficient warmth. And sometimes we there were times where we were very close to having no food. I remember one Christmas time we sat and we had no food on Christmas Day. And I'll never forget the kindness of our neighbour who lived a few streets away, who brought a box of food. And he had 13 children. And I will never forget that man. He heard my father, who was an alcoholic, over talking in a pub that my wife and kids are at home with no food. And he arrived at the door with food. I will never forget that. So
Right.
I had to choose money. I had to. I was not having a fun time. Always was sick in the winters. I had chest infections, pneumonia, like really like not being cared for properly. And I asked, well, actually, I watched a movie first. So I watched, what's the movie where he says, please can I have some more, sir? Porridge it was.
Um,
Oliver Twist.
yes.
Oliver Twist. I watched Oliver Twist, and that movie actually gave me the realization of it got me to acknowledge my awareness of family as a construct that I mean, the whole world's our family. We come in through beings that we choose to come in through, but then you create who contributes to you and who is going to create your life being more enjoyable. And most of the time, from who many people have spoken to, it's not family. So I got the awareness from that movie that family wasn't real. Well, it's real in this reality. It's a construct. It's created. And that the whole world was your family. And what if I could? Oliver Twist wakes up from being a pauper, absolute pauper, a thief, was living on a cold floor with insufficient food and clothing. And then his real parents found him, and he woke up. He was in a coma when he was sick, and he woke up in this beautiful Georgian house in London with fires in the hearth and maids bringing him breakfast on a silver tray. And it was just like, wow, that is possible. I knew it was possible. So I asked for that. That movie, I asked for it, and while I was waiting on it, I adopted a friend who had that light too bright. I adopted a friend who had moved into the neighbourhood, who was wealthy, and spent more time at her house than my house, and started to look at what having money was like.
Mm.
And
Would
yeah, go on.
would you say that's one of the first times where
Absolutely,
things started to change for you? That you got a tangible
absolutely.
grasp of a different reality?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, the first thing was the movie, then was
Yeah.
hanging out in her house, and her mother was very kind and took me to places that I would never have dreamed of that I could go. She took me to beautiful five-star hotels, to restaurants, and bought me lunch and dinner, and we would drive for miles to go to a restaurant. And we had no car, we had no phone, we had no fridge. We had no like it was like walking into a palace, walking into her house.
Wow.
It was warm, and so I was like, okay, I'm having this. So I spent a lot of time around her. I spent more time at her house than I did my house. And when I was being taken to the restaurants, etc., I would look at, okay, what is the energy of having money? And I would start to duplicate. I could see who in restaurants who was bearing money and who wasn't. And I started to duplicate that energy. I was like, okay, I'm going to be that. And I was at school and I used to walk back and forward to school. And I taught myself how to walk with elegance. And I taught myself how to be money. Yeah, you teach yourself how to be money. And it's very specific elements that Sue and I do the How to Become Money workbook that is, you can have money and you can work for money and you can have a shit ton of money. But in order to truly have you and enjoy your life, you need to know that you can become money. And then money becomes so much easier. So much easier. So then what I asked for was the same as Oliver Twist asked for. It was like a dream come true. Somebody who would come into my life that would save me and that would love me, and especially ask for somebody who would who liked to be the breadwinner, because hey hey Silas. And I had my husband show up. And when I was 15, hey, Silas, you can come and join us. You can join it. Oh, maybe you can't. Sorry. I'm overstepping here. Hi.
He can't not join, really.
Exactly. So, yeah. So,
So, when you met your husband at 15, did that sort of match a certain energy that you'd been like looking for at the time, or was
yes,
it just,
thank you. Yeah. He was very irreverent around money. He was like, money come, money go. None of it was like significant. And yet I say that what was significant was it was his identity. He without money, he was nobody. And that was never my reality. And that was one thing but what I did see was him knowing that he could bring in so much money, and it would be fine if it was all gone the next day, because he knew he could create it again. And that was something that was very attractive to me.
Right. And so you said that if he didn't have money, he would sort of feel like he didn't have an identity. Do you think that was different for you because you'd sort of experienced like both sides, like sort of extreme no money, and then that difference?
Yeah, partly. Absolutely, that was part of it. So because I knew that I had way more awareness than pretty much most people around me as a child. And when I had money, I didn't change, and who I be didn't change. So I just knew that I was very different. And
And okay, cool. And so I'd like so one of the things that I remember, we went to one of your what I just found out is not your favorite place to be, Houston, for an X-Men class a while ago. And one of the things that you did with me there was to like get an amount of money and basically to like a physical note, and basically to like, I know you're probably not supposed to say this, but to like tear it up.
I remember that. That's so funny. I knew you were going to talk about that this morning. I went, okay. And I went, okay, so it's going to bring up the tear up money thing. I think it was 100 euros or dollars or something, was it?
Something like that. I can't even
100 euros.
Yeah. And I just remember, I remember that so vividly, because it was like, that something broke like for me when with that. And I remember, I think I even started crying at one point.
And I know, it's making me want to cry now, actually.
Yeah, and just that, I think it was that sense of like how important and significant I had made money, and that it was like I was losing like some part of me, or it was very strange. But I definitely noticed from that, like having way more freedom with it, and something about that made me realize as well how much of a creation money is, and that it's not the significance that we place on it. Like
I'm
Um,
wondering if what broke, I may be wrong, but I'm wondering if what broke was you got that money was just money and you were so much more valuable than money.
Yeah, and I think I'd had a similar, not to the extreme that you had, but I mean, my upbringing was also, I was like a single mother, and like money was always a little bit hard to come by. So I think one of the things for me that when I first started using like the tools of access and everything, it was like a big thing on the list of things that I would like to change in my life,
Yeah.
um, and I guess. Yeah, just actually realizing, hang on a second, like I'd always been able to create whatever it is that I desired, but somewhere I'd made money way greater than my capacity to create.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wonder, can I ask, were there energies around money apart from it's hard to come by? Were there any other energies for you around money of that it was wrong or you'd be wrong for having it, or
Oh
was there
yeah, I had
anything?
so many points of view about, that if you had money you were doing bad things to the environment, and
Ah,
just like loads of those kind of points of view. And
yeah.
I think that started to break as well at that point, because I also started to see people with money, like yourself, and where they had money, but they were also choosing something that created like what I saw as a greater world, and
Yeah.
that really changed a lot for me. It was like, okay, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you have a little bit of money or a lot of money. It's way more to
Yeah.
do with what you're actually choosing to create.
Yeah. And who you are with it is the same as who you are without it.
Right.
Can I have a coffee, please? A cappuccino? Thank you. Yes, please. Thank you. Um, uh, Sorry? No, it's okay. I'm on a Zoom. It's okay. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, excuse me.
That's
He,
okay.
he was he was standing listening to my Zoom, and it was just a bit too intense. It was lasering my, yeah. So I just asked him for a coffee. Asked him for a coffee. One way to make him One way to
Fair
make him
enough.
busy. It was
Yeah.
just too intense. It was like, okay, you're laser beaming me, dude. Stop.
Yeah.
Can I have a coffee? Can you go away? Come to work.
Yeah. So I guess then I wonder as well, like, because you've also then, since that time, you've also learned a lot about like being with money in a really different way. So could you
Yeah.
talk a little bit more like now about like what are you personally looking to create, financially, but also like with your life, and the, like the choices, like what is it that you desire to see created in
Well,
the world?
first and foremost, so it's about how I be with money. That's what I work on all the time. Like
Yeah.
money, and this sounds really a really sweeping statement. Money gives you you. It's like when you avoid it and avoid it, you're cutting off so many parts and pieces of yourself and your connection to your body. So one of the things that I knew, and when I was asking for money with Oliver Twist, was money. Oh, wow, sorry, ADHD. Money gives you so much more. Okay, hang on. One of the things that I did was I disconnected from my body a lot, and money allowed me to enjoy my body more. You know, I mean, the obvious things like going to a spa. I could never have that. Was a dream. I mean, a massage was never in my reality. And how you be with money is literally when you be it. Oh, this is a big topic. Okay, when you be it, you be everything. You be everything, and this is what the How to Become Money Workbook is. When you learn that you can be any energy and receive any energy, even though it's been laser beamed at you and uncomfortable, that's a choice. Whoop. And it opens a way to be with money that all of that is connected. Like all of it is connected. So you stop excluding all these. I mean, like a lot of people will walk into the castle and they'll cringe, and then other people will walk in and they'll expand massively. And, so it's like, how much are you excluding by your judgment of they're bad and wrong for having money, or this is too expensive for me, this is too much for me, this is too. What if you didn't make anything greater than you? Like, really? Like, a car's better than you, a house is better than you, a hotel is better than you? Like, it's just insanity. It's absolute insanity. Sorry, what was the question? So,
Well, can
thank
I
you.
actually just say
No,
on
no,
that,
thank you.
like, that really also shows me how, I guess, like, so many people use money to fit in with other people around them, and it's also, you can also use money to exclude you from certain situations or certain groups of people. But
Oh,
if you're willing, like as
thank
you
you.
say, to be money, it's like
Yeah,
you're actually including you, but also including more people, more things, like
yeah.
more receiving of everything.
Thank you for that. That's fascinating because I wonder, is that something that you did for a while? Were you doing that?
Yes.
Yeah, I was doing the
Definitely.
opposite. Thank you. I was
Right.
doing the opposite. So, see, money's irrelevant. It's, I mean, sorry, when it comes to your being, this is the illusion that we create. Like, oh my God, sorry, my ADHD is like, I'm finding that hard to talk. I use money to, in the beginning, and this is what the access gave me, I use money to exclude this reality. I use money to hide away as a recluse.
Huh.
I didn't engage with reality until I learned that it was part of my being. So even though I had learned how to become money, and I had chosen money, and I had money, and I have money, I was using it to not have to engage with people.
Right.
So it
But
works
when
both
you,
ways.
yeah, but when you talk about like when what you first started choosing, like to have something different, that's also, I guess, including like your reality expanded as a result of the choices you were making to include like people and
Yes.
things that were more to do with money.
Yeah.
Whereas I get what a lot of people do is like not have money in order not to like even engage with those
Yes.
realities, I
So, but
guess.
and it can work both ways. So that was a
Yeah.
choice I made. I was like, okay, I have loads of money now. I don't need to work. I don't need to go out into the world of commerce. I
Right.
don't need to engage with people. And I lived on my own private beach with a beautiful big house in Jersey, and just didn't engage with people. So
Yeah.
money definitely started to give me more of me when I started Access and realized that, wow, I don't allow myself to be affected by people's judgment. It was irrelevant to me, people's judgment. Still is, always has been. I'm happy to have all the money in the world and have people come and say, please, can I have money?
Yeah.
And I would give it to the people who were choosing consciousness. um, but I would have no judgment of rich bitch, you're a bitch for having all the money. No judgment of it at all.
Right.
But
And
when
so,
I say money gives you more to you, it was only when I acknowledged, oh my God, my choice to not be judged and to choose to be money and have money, that I started to see, and I get why that would be confusing, that I started to go, wow, if I don't do image, because I don't, and I don't do care about people's judgment, which I don't, then what else can I be? And this is what I'm saying, it opens up. It opens up when you get that you being the energy of money without allowing people to shut you down, you can have access to the whole of your being. Because that's the biggest, one of the biggest elements: money, sex, relationship, and family. These are the biggest cornerstones that keep us, I can't be that different
right. So can I just
in
ask
this
you
realm.
one last question?
You can ask me any
All
question.
right. Because you talked about what I found really interesting was you were saying that you were using money to basically not have to engage. But then so engagement for you in a way, like some people have to, well, some people choose to engage because that's their way of like surviving, or it's like, that's how they create their living. But
Yeah,
for you that was more of a choice of, well, I don't have to, but
yeah.
like I can, and like I desire to. So what's engagement for you? Like how do you see?
Well, that's what, when I got that, wow, I be money, but I know energy. Yeah, I know energy. I know I can choose to be any energy. I got the awareness that, well, if money's not greater than me, why would I choose to move away from people that want to dominate by force or unkind or what? I mean, like the guy who was standing there listening to the call, it was distracting. It's not that, he wants to keep engaging because I engage with him here at the hotel, and he likes to be around me, but that was just too distracting. So, but it was like people's crazy. It was way too distracting. It was way too intense in my world, until I realized how much space I could become and how I could turn up the intensity of my very being.
And which is engagement. Like so many people talk about engagement as like, what do you say to somebody else or something like that, but like engagement as well can be so energetic, and everything that you're talking about is like being a different energy.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted to stay away from people, was like that energetic awareness like you have. So it was just too intense and uncomfortable, and like I wasn't willing to be more intense, even although we are more intense. It's funny, but I was like, not comfortable. I just don't want to be around people. It's just not fun.
Yeah.
Because I know this sounds confusing. It does sound confusing, doesn't it?
Well, not to me.
Yeah, not to you. Yeah.
And I think there are other people that are also getting a lot from it. Someone saying awesome energies, thank you. So people are appreciating the conversation. And I won't keep you any longer, but thank you so much for having the chat. And I know that you're on your way to becoming a 3-day body facilitator as well. So if you want to check Moira out and go to a body class, and what else do you offer, Moira? I know you do the money workbooks and
money workbooks, and I'm doing next month in Slovenia. I'm doing conscious parents, conscious kids. And,
oh, really? Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I do other topics, and right now they're not there.
I know. That happens to me too. So yeah.
But I just want to say one thing for people before I leave. When you choose to step into being the energy of money, like when you choose to receive that judgment, that gives you a big part of you. It's like a journey to having you. Yeah.
Thank you. And I think you're so inspirational for the I truly get I get that you can have a different conversation about money because you've been willing to be vulnerable with yourself in this area where so many people are not. And so it's so it's so refreshing to I guess talk to someone who is like made the choices and is continuing to choose in that direction. And it's not like trying to teach someone how to do the right thing. You're actually talking about what's true for you and from real experience. So
well, for me, it's like if I didn't keep choosing soul, I really wouldn't want to be here. If I don't have an energetic life that's way more entertaining than the flat 2D computation that we live from here, life would not be worth living.
Yeah.
So
if you're watching and that's something that you would like more of, you can check Moira out. And this has been an awesome live. Thank you so much for being here, and I will hopefully see you somewhere around the world soon, but not in Houston or Den Haag.
I don't stop going just because I don't enjoy the city. I don't stop going.
There you go. All right, thanks you so much. Bye everyone. Everybody.